I like peaches. I like pears too. And the thing about peaches and pears is they come in cans. In fact, a lot of really great things come in cans, but you know what? Nothing comes in a cant. You can't buy a cant of peaches. Hi, I'm Michael Chauncey, and I want to talk to you about having an I can attitude. You know, my dad was an American soldier. He fought in the Army, and because of that, he had a great love for his country, and he instilled that in me too. He said, "Son, you are an Amer-I-Can." That means you're not an Amer-I-Can't. Well, you may not be from America. You may be from Mexico. Well, that's okay. That makes you a Mex-I-Can. Or from Puerto Rico. And the last four letters in Puerto Rican spell I can. And so you need to have that attitude in your heart. Napoleon Hill once said that he went out and bought the finest dictionary that he could find. And he promptly took it home and opened up to the word impossible. Then he got a pair of scissors and cut that word out of his dictionary. Hey, I recommend you do the same thing. Cut I can't and impossible. Cut any words like that out of your vocabulary and out of your mental dictionary. When I was a teenager, I was really impressed with Johnny Erickson. Her life story became a best-selling book and a motion picture. And I remember being so impressed with her. See, her story's like this. When she was young, she and a bunch of friends went swimming, and she dove in the water and hit her head on the bottom, and it paralyzed her from the neck down. You know, at first, she thought her life was over. She had been very athletic, and now she couldn't be. And she had a lot of hopes and dreams that would never come to pass because now she's paralyzed from the neck down. But that didn't stop her. You know, eventually she began to see that there was a lot of things she could do. And she taught herself how to paint by holding the paintbrush in her mouth. And she actually painted beautiful paintings that ended up on the fronts of Hallmark cards. And she wrote best-selling books. She's a singer and has released CDs of her music that's played on the radio. And not only that, she is an advocate for other people with disabilities and has done things to help pass laws and make life easier on people that have disabilities. And she hosts a radio program where she talks about advocacy for people who have disabilities. She's just accomplished so many things, even though she's paralyzed from the neck down. But I knew another young lady who told me, she says, "My husband's leaving me." Well, I was shocked to hear this. I knew her husband. He's a great guy. And I was thinking, that doesn't sound like him at all. She explained, well, you see, his mother always kept the house neat as a pin. But me, I can't. You see, I can't wash the dishes. I can't vacuum. I can't dust my house. I can't keep up with any of the household chores at all. In fact, our little baby, I can't really change his diaper and take care of his needs like I really should. I just can't. And then I asked her a question. I said, "Hey, can you lift your car up over your head?" And she looked at me like, "What? No, of course I can't." I said, "Well, I can. In fact, I know this mechanic that I could go there right now, and he'd probably let me drive my car right up onto the rack, and he'd let me push the button, and then I would be able, with hydraulic lift, be able to lift my car way up over my head. And it would be easy." And she said, "You tricked me." And I said, "Well, life is tricky. There's a lot of things we can't do with our muscles, but we can figure out a way. We can be problem solvers." You know, it's important, instead of having the talent to be able to find a problem in every solution, you need to trade in that gift for the gift to be able to find a solution in every problem. Be a problem solver. Have a mindset that, yes, I can. Then I finally asked her again. I said, "Hey, can you fly around the world?" And she said, "Are you crazy? Of course not." I said, "No, I'm not crazy. I can do that. All I have to do is get an airplane ticket. She said, you tricked me again. I said, no, I'm just thinking of ways to make impossible things possible. Nothing's really impossible. In fact, Jesus himself said, nothing is impossible with God. And in another place, he said, nothing is impossible to those who believe. The problem is, we put limits on God. I was shocked when I was reading through the book of Psalms one day, and I read, they limited the Holy One of Israel. How can human beings limit an almighty God? Well, when God is pouring out his blessings, we could simply put our hand over the glass and say, no, I don't deserve that. I'm not smart enough. I don't have the advantage of education. I came from the wrong side of town. You know, my whole family, we've always had a history of just, none of us ever went to college. Nobody ever really made a big success of themselves. And, I'm not pretty enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm too old. I'm too young. And we have all of these limitations that stop us, that stop the flow of blessing in our lives. But really, those limitations only exist in our minds. And our thinking puts the limits there. It's not God. Those limits need to be left behind you. Hey, I hope you've enjoyed watching today. It's always a blessing for me to be able to share with you, and we'll be continuing to vlog like this. And so I hope you'll subscribe and share these videos, and I hope that they'll help a lot of people. All right. God bless, and we'll see you tomorrow.